Hello, I'm Mrs. Miller, and I have adult congenital heart disease, and this is going to be my journey. I had surgery when I was 2 to repair a valve that had a hole in it. It was about the size of a quarter. The surgery was obviously successful, and I didn't have any issues at all. I got annual checkups from cardiologists until I was about 19 years old, and then I had a doctor tell me that I did not need to be checked up for 2 years. And it was super exciting because I was like, okay, I don't have to think about it for a couple of years. I can just be me and relax and everything would be fine. So I did. I got married in that time. I got a house. I got dogs. And life was just moving pretty quickly. And then I was like, okay, it's time for me to see a cardiologist again. I went, and it was a little stressful finding the right doctor for me, but eventually it did happen. And at first, the cardiologist was very young and unfortunately didn't really know what he was looking for, hadn't really run into my issue before. He was used to working, honestly, with older patients, people who have heart attacks and things like that and need stents put in, and a lot of problems that happen later in life, I would say. We did a TEE, which means he put a tube down my throat, and we did echoes to see my heart, just images of my heart to see what was going on, because he heard my murmur in his stethoscope, I believe it's called, and he was like, strange. So we did some imaging, and the TEE was honestly one of the worst things I've been through. Basically, they just kind of numb your throat and shove a tube in it, which I have a terrible gag reflex. I just did not like it. It was not very fun. I was always trying to pull it out from the doctor's hands, which was awful, terrible idea. And eventually I was referred to another cardiologist who works with congenital heart disease, but for children. I was sent to Seattle Children's, and they were familiar with my problem because they've been working with kids who've had this problem, but now I'm in a totally different spectrum of people. There's a group of adults who are surviving congenital heart defect and congenital heart disease, and I'm one of those people. So this is kind of the start of my process. I don't know if there's anyone out there who has this problem. Clearly you can see my scar from my first surgery, and it looks like I may be needing a second surgery to either repair or replace my valve because there's some leakage going on. Now again, I said before that all throughout my life, I would see cardiologists annually, and they would always tell me, you have a little bit of leakage, but it's nothing to be concerned about. And then I turned 22, and I'm an adult, and they said, your leakage is moderate to severe now, and I think we should do more imaging. And I'm actually being referred to UW, which is a college in Washington, and they have a program for people like me. If you have questions or you don't understand something, please let me know. Kind of putting my journey out there so that I don't feel so alone, and so other people who are like me can kind of connect, because it's scary, and I feel like a lot of people don't talk about it. People talk about anxiety and depression and lots of mental illness, but I haven't really heard anyone talk about what I have. So there's that. There's the beginning. I haven't seen a cardiologist for a couple months now. We're working on processing insurance and all that stuff. So I will let you know what happens. I have an appointment on Friday the 19th. So that's kind of where we're at. Thanks for listening.